Hello again, YouTube. This is Truth Man giving you the truth. I want to talk to you about this, something that's important, kind of along the lines of the Matrix. Y'all know this is the No Matrix channel. But I want to emphasize on like friendships, relationships, so on and so forth with people, right? And I would entitle this the number one way I know that you're still in the Matrix. The number one way I know that you're still in the Matrix. What is this way? This number one way is you are antisocial. Like, don't take this the wrong way. This is what I mean by this. Like, if a person is supportive towards you, if a person has your back, is loyal towards you, so on and so forth, then you're supposed to react to that positively. But when people don't react to that positively, it shows me they still in the Matrix, and anytime you try to act like you ain't, I'm gonna just tune you out. You know, I'm gonna tune you out, because that's the number one way that, and that's very important, because see, here's how it works. When a person is antisocial, they are playing into the enemy of mankind hands. So when they are disloyal, when you loyal to them but they ain't loyal to you, when they act like that they can't return what you put out there, like the Bible says, be not deceived, a man reaps what he sows. Whatever a man sows, that's what he shall also reap. So if you sowing into a person, whether it's be words or compliments or encouragement, or whether you have their back when people come against them and they respond negatively, it's because they're in the Matrix. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. In terms of YouTube, if you like their content, that's okay to keep listening to them. I wouldn't support them though. I wouldn't support them, because see, they done made it about them. They done made it about them. And you hear them sometimes. Like this, I'm going to show you something. I know for a fact, 110%, that some of the bigger YouTubers watch my content. I know this. But do you think they're going to go on their regular, account and say, hey man, I like what you're doing, man, you know, nice job? Or you can say it to them, but they ain't gonna say it to you. And if you come at them, oh, now you this, now you that, or if you disagree with them, you might not be against them, but you might be like, hey man, I don't agree with you with that. Now they try to act like you against them. Why do they do this? Because they're anti-social. See, this is where when you go through things with your boys or your wives or ex-wives or girlfriend or your relatives, you got to be matrix free. You got to be the type of person that you are mentally bulletproof, you spiritually bulletproof, where you don't hold grudges. You gonna be the same person regardless of how people do you. Now, you might not give people who don't deserve, like if people wasn't helping you and they was dissing you when you was down, that's not what we talking about. You shouldn't help them. But I'm talking about people who you'll be like, hey man, listen, XYZ, blase, Skippy. And they either won't respond, so on and so forth. I got so many examples of this. Okay. I don't wanna, because the people know I'm talking about. So there's a particular person, right, that's going through something right now. And one of her relatives be trying to reach out to her. She don't answer the phone. She look at the phone, she see it ringing, she don't answer. So that person should be like, okay, well, hey, I tried to reach out to her. She didn't respond, so forget her. That, nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about people. Man, my lips white. Wait, hold on. I'm talking about people who think they done got bigger, too big for you. Like, Man, you forgot? I had your back, man. You forgot about that? Okay. Of course you forgot, because that's just how you are. You in the Matrix. A person that escaped the Matrix, they gonna try to help the people that they know escape the Matrix. But what happens now is people are antisocial. They in the Matrix. They done bought into this social media. They don't use the social media constructively. They done bought into it, and they have become anti-social. Now, you don't know the difference of a person that could potentially be a friend, and a person who got your back, so on and so forth, from a person who don't. That's how it be. That's how it be in these cities. That's how it be on this YouTube. That's how it be social media altogether. So when people ignore your posts, when people ignore your comments, or they'll do this is what they'll do. You'll be like, hey man, hey, that was good. Like, you'll mention them to somebody else, and they'll say, get off my wood, get off my, I'm like, huh? What? Oh, that's how we view that now? It's because they still in the Matrix, man. They still in the Matrix, man. A lot of people ain't out, man. Some people just fat mouth. They talk like they out, but they really in. They still in there. So when you reach your hand down in the Matrix to pull them out, and they just sitting in there, and they look at you like, man, I ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say. You ain't got no money. Man, I ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say. You ain't even got no follow. Be like, stay in the Matrix then, and close the hole back up. So on Facebook, I've been talking about this, like with some of my relatives, stuff like that, and they've been responding, some of them, because they know what I'm talking about. One of my cousins in particular, in the 90s, like, I go down the block, you know, because my other cousin, you know, he was the big man over there. So sometimes I go over there. Then my grandmother stayed on the same block. So sometimes I either ride through there or I'll go over there, stop, chat it up and stuff. And I noticed that she had plenty little girlfriends around. That's one reason I used to go over there too, to look, see if maybe I can, you know, y'all know how it be. So she was like, I tell my kids I used to be thick in the 90s, and I remember. She said, now I just work and chill. And that's the way you should be. These people are too antisocial to be friends with them. So like I said on Facebook, don't even try. I'm done trying to be friends. I'm done trying to have relationships of any kind. Like, people who exhibit the characteristics of dealing with, I'll edge towards them a little bit. They exhibit more, I'm gonna edge towards them a little more. But all this, me just being me, trying to be loyal, that's over with. Anybody who I was being loyal to that didn't acknowledge it, like, you don't have to, you know what I mean? But if you trapped in the Matrix and I try to help you get out, or you not in the Matrix, so I support you so you can go and get other people out, and you respond like you a god or something, listen, man, ain't none of y'all gods, man. I'm not God, you ain't God, nobody ain't God. Now, you got a right to think that, but I got a right as a prophet to pull you off that high horse too. So, I mean, a lot of y'all, you know, you've been wasting your life away with people. You've been wasting your life away with people. Even these lives and stuff, like, you really could be working. Like, if your money ain't right, why you gonna sit in these long lives, man? Like, why don't you go out and get you a side hustle or a business? And if you want to be in those lives while you doing that. Because most of the people, they not gonna even appreciate it. They're not gonna appreciate it. In some of their minds, it's not enough room at the top. Okay, well, if it ain't enough room at the top, then I need to go find a different top and get away from around you. See, some of these people, they take stuff the wrong way, man. They do. And like I said, I know because I watched a lot of content. I watched a whole lot more than I've been watching recently. And I know what lingo people done came up with. I know what catchphrases people done came up with. And when you hear catchphrases that you know you came up with, you're like, yeah, he watching on a different account. Or he's watching and he won't like the video. See, now you tell me that's fair. Somebody like your videos, but you don't like theirs. That's antisocial. That's being antisocial, man. And remember, being antisocial is matrix. Because see, you supposed to be antisocial with those who are antisocial towards you. You don't be friends with somebody who's trying to rob you. You don't be friends with somebody who don't like you, and you know it. All that little keep enemies close, get out of here with that. But somebody who on your team, like, okay, how do you not know everybody in your locker room? When I played football, any level I played football at, I knew everybody on the team. I knew everybody in the locker room. Now, I might be closer to some than others, but I knew everybody in the locker room. So, in some way, shape, or form, you deal with everybody in that locker room because y'all on the same team. But now, people ain't like that now. You could be on the same team as somebody and not even know them. You could be in the same church as somebody and the pastor don't even know you. Like you giving them thousands of dollars every week and he don't even know you. He won't acknowledge you. I will stop giving it. Find somewhere else to give it. And they'll say, oh, you a hater for set. How am I a hater, man? People who haters, they know when they haters, man. I ain't never been no hater. Ask people who actually know me. I ain't never been that type of person. But people take things the wrong way. Like you'll be like, hey man, such and such. And they'll respond to it negatively. You'll be like, man, F you then. I don't cuss, but you'll be like, man, people who cuss be like, F you then. Or they should be like, man, who you think you is? See, my fame, I'm gonna show you something. The times I had fame in life, YouTube didn't have nothing to do with it. I had fame in college, like people knew me, like one dude, I was doing work study and a guy come in there, everybody knows such and such, he'll say my first name, and everybody look at me, because, I was known. Streets, this part, this, that, you get known, like your neighborhood, like full of people, they all know you. Be like, hey, such and such. Yeah, man, I grew up with them, same neighborhood. Now the haters, there are such things as haters. The haters will be trying to downplay what you did. They won't say it to you. Like they'll say something like, man, he's soft. But they know good and well that you a cave they facing. So they'll be like, don't say nothing to them. Okay, if you don't want nobody to say something about what you say, then why say it? That's that antisocial behavior, man. I'm telling you. That's that antisocial behavior. And people who don't know how to socialize, you are falling into their hands. Divide and conquer. Isolate. You falling into their hands. So think about that, man. Think about that real hard. Figure out what you've been doing wrong in your dealings with people. What I've been doing wrong is I've been letting people experience the full scope of who I am, but then some of them be disrespectful, they'll be selfish, they won't acknowledge, they won't try to help you like you help them. A wide range of things. So if let's say I need a person help in this area. And that person be like, well, I don't help such and such. I'm like, cool. You can't help me in that area. I'm not going to help you in that area. So this particular person needed some help. What y'all think I did? Do you think that's what I wanted to do? No. It's only fair. I'm a Libra. I'm all about fairness. Now, I don't believe in, like, you can judge everybody's life by the same day. But the characteristics of when you were born into the world, you have similar characteristics. And most Libras, when they in the light side of the Libra, they're going to be very diplomatic, very fair. And they're going to hate favoritism. One thing that I hate with a passion is favoritism. Because a lot of time, favoritism is closely tied to being antisocial. You being antisocial to certain individuals, and why? What is it that they said that you don't like? And that's where the cancel culture is born. That's why this whole thing with Kanye West, few comments costing him millions upon millions of dollars, because this culture is antisocial. And when you try to muzzle free speech, you're being antisocial. And most of the time, what they call socialism is really antisocial. Group thinking is antisocial. Being social, everybody in the room has their own thoughts, mind, brain, ideas. And you either agree with them or disagree. You either latch on to them or get away from around them. But now people is like this. Here, give it to me. Like I said, YouTube reminds me a whole lot of how Christianity was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Look at it now. Look what happened. Same thing gonna happen on YouTube if people not careful. And I'm a prophet. You don't gotta believe it, but I'm telling you, that selfishness that those preachers exhibited by not putting other preachers that would offer a fresh perspective, this, that, just making everything about them. As soon as they make a mistake, there's nobody else there. That's what's gonna happen on YouTube. The only difference with YouTube is other people gonna rise up. And if they smart, they gonna remember how this person, that person, when they was on, they wasn't really like helping nobody else. And that's why you see YouTubers fall off. You see preachers fall off. Because people, when they woke, they're going to be like, okay, when you were up there, what did you do? When you passed them up, they'd be like, what did you do when you were up there? That's what I'm going to do to you. That's what I'm going to do to you. And that's what you should do. If you got a relative like a sibling or anybody, old friend, a person you respect, person you admire, and they respond negatively to it, scale back. Because what that is, they demoting your, you in terms of them. They demoting your friendship level. They demoting your partnership level. They demoting you on the business level. So what do you have to do? You gonna sit there and be demoted? Or you gonna be like, okay, cool. Right back at you. Right back at you. And then move on. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of women got in this space. What can a 25-year-old woman tell me? Or a 25-year-old in general, besides like if you, hey, let me show you something on the computer, I'm there. Certain things, I'm there.